One. This is the Sourceseeker Hour, our 143rd episode, or 144. I apologize. I'm going to make sure at the end of this episode that I have that correct number, but that is quite a few. We've been doing this a while, and one of our most productive episodes is talking about healthy living. And anytime I'm talking about lifestyle and how we are taking care of ourselves, I got to bring on my brother Vince, who's a very strong advocate of healthy living. He demonstrates it every day. Brother Vince, you're an inspiration. And I just want to let you introduce yourself, and I'll get to the other guests, but I want you to introduce yourself and tell about your genesis and journey of what you do, and you're leading people now in this exercise program. Talk about that, please, your inspiration.
Thank you, sir. Once again, my name is Vincent L. Gulley. I'm 59 years young. I'm from Hope, Arkansas, but I live here in Dallas, Texas. I've always been pretty active all my life, but I really took on the idea of living a healthy, fit lifestyle. I call it feasting on fitness for life back actually in 2021. It took on a new life for me. And I started going into the weight room, lifting weights, and started running. Running is my passion. I enjoy running. I'm an ultra marathoner, which means, I run anything beyond 26.2 miles. So I just got off this past weekend running a 50K, which is 31 miles in the mud and rain for about 7.5 hours out there. Just I call it giving birth to my greatness. And so this thing started, my brother, my only brother, he passed away at the age of 55 from congestive heart failure in 2018. Well, when that happened, I saw how that affected the entire family, especially my mother. That was her firstborn child. And my brother's lifestyle and my lifestyle was somewhat similar, kind of close. So he didn't have any health issues. It was his lifestyle. So our lifestyle was somewhat close in similarities. And
if I may cut in just for a second, how we met, we were talking about, and I had a show about dating and trying to find women, and we talked about life in the club. And so this is a total transition from how we met. Continue, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm gonna just speed it up. So I looked at that and I said, my mother's not gonna bury me. I'm gonna bury her because that's the natural order of things. So after that, my brother passing, I started getting a little bit more active, but still some things I was still holding on to. And now I have to say this, that alcohol was one of the biggest thing in my life that was, to me, was going to lead me to death. And so I don't drink anymore. I thank God for that. I tell people it's a God thing. I ran 75 miles on New Year's Day, January 1st, 22, to honor and celebrate my grandmother's life. I ran 55 miles to honor and celebrate my brother's life, June 19, 2021. So he's kind of like the catalyst that started this thing, and it's taken on a whole new life. And now what I encourage us to do is to be active. Now, not to do what I do. You have to do it my way, but I encourage people to walk at least 25, 30 minutes a day. Also, it's important what you put in your body. And I brought a couple things that I take almost on a daily basis. Beetroot. I beet juice, superfoods, which is green foods, sea mouse. It's not just important. I make my own sea mouse. How you doing, brother? It's not just important to exercise, but it's also important what I put in my body, because I have to strengthen the inner me as well as the outer me. It is very important that I not just talk it, but I live it, and that's something that I take pride in, not just talking about this lifestyle, but actually living this lifestyle. Um, I don't want to be one of those persons to say, "Hey, do what I say, but not what I do." And also, I'm living this so that I can pass on this legacy to my children and grandchildren. I don't want to once again preach the preach without walking the walk. So I'm about action more than talking. I have this a couple cliches. One is no excuses, execute and elevate. That's how I approach almost everything in life. And another thing that came to me this past weekend before, as I was preparing to run this 50K, which was going to be rainy, muddy, and it presented everything that a person will have every reason to not do it. But what I said was, no one can prepare for everything, but one can show up prepared. And so I showed up because I put in the work. And that's what I encourage each and every one of us to do, because we get one temple, we get one body, we get one life. And it's my responsibility to make sure that I take care of me. I can't say I love my family and I let myself go. How can I be there for anybody if I'm not first there for myself? So I have to make sure I'm strong for myself so I can be strong for others. And that's just my approach to life. And at the age of 59, I found the fountain of youth for me, which is running. I love to run. When I get done with this, I'm going out running. I make no excuses when it comes to my health. When I was out there drinking, you couldn't beat me in the club. You couldn't beat me. It didn't make no difference. It was rainy, it was cold, it was snowing, it was burning up hot outside. I was there. I was there, on the floor dancing, having a ball and a blast. And I did it with our passion. So now I do this with our passion, because I tell people my life depends on it. And most definitely it's a God thing. So it has, I go to bed thinking about running. I wake up thinking about running. I'm at work thinking about running. When I'm out moving around, I'm thinking about running. There's nothing to me other than my God is more important than running to me, because it equals for my family, because it allows me to be there for my family. If I don't run, I feel like I'm getting weak, and I have no desire to ever get weak in my body. And that's just my story, and that's what works for me.
That is a super powerful story. I want to give you a hand. And as I say, your inspiration, brother. And we're going to talk much more about that. We're going to talk about your drive and then how you have inspired others and so forth. Moss Queen, he mentioned Sea Moss. He mentioned that. Talk about what you heard from Brother Vince, and then talk about what you do with your products that you share.
No, again, thank you for allowing me to be on the show. And Brother Vince, I really loved your testimony, and how your brother really was the catalyst for you to turn your life around and really put health first. Because I do believe in that, because health is all we have. But we don't have health, we don't have anything. You can't reach your dreams, you can't do anything if you don't take care of yourself first. And I feel like that's the best self-love and love we can have for anyone, is first starting with ourselves so that we can spread that love to other people. So I'm glad to hear Sea Moss is a part of his regimen. I am the Houston Sea Moss Queen. So I do make sea moss gels, original elderberry infused, bladderwrack, burdock root infused, and I sell them to Houston and ship out. But one of the big things why sea moss became really popular in the US is because of COVID, blessing in disguise kind of thing, because it's really popular in the Caribbean for generations. But it has 92 minerals out of 102 that the body is composed of. So therefore, we're getting a lot of minerals that we don't usually get in our diets, because our American diets are so nutritional poor. You're able to get those things back in with just a scoop of sea moss daily. as well as the reason why I picked up speed here is because of COVID and mucus removal. That's one of the biggest benefits of it. So it helps with inflammation, mucus removal, also bones, joints, hair, skin, thyroid, libido, digestion, weight loss, energy, all types of stuff. So it's really a good thing to add to your day-to-day life. And even I have some customers who they take it daily, and some kind of like take it and then they take a little break and then they come back, you know? So just kind of having it regularly in whatever capacity that means to you really does add a great benefit. There's been people that have gotten off of thyroid medication, high blood pressure medication, just by being regular and taking sea moss and really just putting their health first, because a lot of the stuff, unfortunately, in big pharma, they're just band-aids, you know. And I want to be a part of helping people heal. And I know that God would not have sent us here, his children, without resources in order to help ourselves. So, you know, really tapping into the herbs and the things that we have here on earth that, you know, can really help us.
Question, Sea Moss Queen. What does sea moss taste like? And you can interject on that also. What does it taste like? What is its texture?
Yes. So sea moss is an algae, right? So pretty much I soak it, clean it, got the salt and debris off, and then just in its plain form as a gel, it's just sea moss and spring water. So therefore, it's not really the taste that gets people, especially if it's done right, because it doesn't really have a taste. Anything you put it in, it's easily adaptable to that. It's the texture that gets people. I tell people to think of a thick Jello, but Jello melts in your mouth, and sea moss gel does not necessarily melt because it's a thickening agent. And then as far as taste, I would describe it as ocean water without the salt. So it's really not much. It's just like a little oceany. And then of course, if you add certain herbs, then the herbs are the one that give it that health taste, like burdock root or bladderwrack is a seaweed. So that gives you that seaweed taste as well. But it's really the texture that gets people. But you know, blend it in a smoothie. I think that's what Brother Victor, right? That's what you had, a smoothie?
Vincent.
Vincent,
I
I'm
have a
sorry.
question. Please put the information on how I can get a jar of sea moss in the chat, and I'm gonna taste it next time we have this conversation. I'm gonna give how it tastes and all the mechanisms about it and so forth. So we gonna see. I've been hearing all about the sea moss. I haven't tried it. Brother Husani, I gotta give a disclaimer, brother. I gotta give a disclaimer. I was doing very well on my regimen of exercise and diet. I was doing very well, but a life event that I should have been able to withstand better happened, and I got off of my regimen. And I got to give that disclaimer. So right this second, last 2 weeks and a half, I haven't done very well. I fell down. But before that, Vince, I was running every day. I was cutting up my peppers and potassium products and putting them in a salad, and I was doing well. And I had lost down from 198 to 186. Wow. I don't know where I'm at now, but I got to give that definition, that disclaimer. And Brother Husani, you work with me, and I wanted to share that. But how do you get the discipline, the mindset? And I'm always asking this question because it comes to that first before you can make that decision. And Vince, you had a life event that happened that gave you that inspiration. How can you delve into that mindset to maintain that discipline to do what you got to do? Husani.
Hey, what's going on, group? How's everybody? My name is Husani. I'm out of Houston, Texas, and I've been around the health and fitness world for, I guess, a little while. I was an athlete growing up. I loved to play, but I had terrible asthma. I would play for a while and then I'd have an asthma attack where I couldn't breathe. So I had to sit down, I'd have to wait, catch my breath, stop wheezing and everything before I could even return to play. It put me in the hospital quite often. But I had this drive. I've always had a drive to do, to do what I wanted. It's hard to really stop me once I set my mind towards it. And the doctor even told me I was allergic to grass. That's how bad it was. But nothing could stop me. I love playing. I love sports. I love competing. And as I grew older, I got into the martial arts. And there was a martial arts center right down the street. It was a youth and fitness center. So I went through those ranks. I ended up getting my black belt. And when I returned from college, I went back to the center and became a co-manager and instructor there. And so along with the martial arts, I would help people on their fitness journey. And kind of to rewind a little bit, before I started training, I asked myself really like what works, what really works, and that led me to
What really
Dr.
works
Savy.
as far as what? As far as exercise, as far as discipline?
As far as achieving health. Of course, you need discipline to execute, but I wanted to know what really works. Like, okay, so as a kind of a textbook personal trainer, they'll tell you, okay, you need a balanced meal, go to the food diet, the food triangle, and eat a balanced meals, carbs, proteins, fats, etc. Right? But I'm like, look, I know that doesn't work because I'm eating carbs, proteins, and everything, but it's slop food. It's cafeteria food from the dorm. I mean, from the cafeterias in school and everything. I know those consistent meals, they might fill us up, but they don't give me energy. They don't do much for me. And so he
And
pointed
you knew
towards
this at a young age. First of all, you're still a young man, but you developed this pattern, this discipline as a force of habit very early. And so you were fortunate in that context that you developed that. A lot of people don't, though, and a lot of people never grasp that routine. And
yeah.
it's a difficult thing. And there's so many people that become obese and get out of even a thought process of, and I'm speaking from experience myself, and that is the hardest thing to do, is to get that pattern, get that maintenance, get that inspiration to keep doing what you know you need to do. You already know what you need to do.
So here's the thing.
Say again?
I said, so here's the thing about that. How you asked how to develop discipline. Now, how I develop discipline is one way. I had a certain drive. Like I said, when I was younger, I couldn't breathe, but I wanted to play. So it was like, okay, I committed. I was like, I'm either gonna die doing this or I'm gonna play. You know what I'm saying? Like something's gonna have to give. But for people, it's like say we're all in it. Just like the Queen was talking about a minute ago. Society, our diets, the choices what we have to choose from, none of it's good. None of it's fulfilling. None of it's beneficial to the body all the way. There's like you have to deal with both. Like, okay, this is good, it tastes good, but it kills me. It makes me fat, it bloats me, it gives me gas, it slows me up. Like there's always such a downside. But to get back to your question, you have to create the environment for it. You have to create that environment for it. So what helped me out was that community center. The name of it was SEHA, and it was an acronym. The S was for survival. And we can just stop there. Survival. Are we surviving or are we not? Do we want to live or do we not want to live? And if you really want to live, you look for the better ways. And you let that be the motivation. Because it's easy to not have motivation. It's easy to not do anything. It's easy to not try. And that's what we kind of have to get out of, get away from the easy part of it and get into the difficult parts like fasting. Like stop eating, just stop. Stop for a minute. You know what I'm saying? You won't die. Just stop. When you get hungry, now you go think about it. Okay, what am I really about to put in my mouth? What am I consuming? And what's the end goal? Do I want health or do I just want to feel good? So we really just have to decide. And if you decide, but like imagine you wake up and you see posters on the wall. You see reminders everywhere. You see fresh fruits on the table, easily accessible. You see that you create the environment. You see flowers, things, natural things that remind you we're a natural people. So you really just have to create that environment, man, to help remind yourself daily, hourly, even if you need, what the mission is and what that goal is. So that might help a little bit.
So you're saying put those things in. When you go to the store, you buy those healthy things. You buy those things that you know are better for you than the things that are not. It's as simple as that. And then it helps you to build your environment. When I was really on my routine, I was concentrating on it. I was looking at carbs, the content of carbs, or I was looking at things that have potassium, a certain amount of protein. So I can really see what you're saying. It's just, you got to have that mindset of going and putting those things together in your environment and always be conscious of it. Sister Paula, you understand what I'm talking about the mindset to get you in the position to take care of yourself. It's not a simple thing. If it was a simple thing, we wouldn't have people who was obese. We wouldn't have people who abuse food and different things. Can you share about that and the different things that you try to do?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. First and foremost, it's either you want to live or die. And it's kind of simple as that. You know, you want to live, you want to die. And how do I want to live? You know, I see people struggling to walk. Yesterday, I went to a training, and there was a girl there she was well over 500 pounds. And she looked like every step was killing her. You know what I mean? So number one is making a choice. Okay, do I want to live? Do I want to die? Do I want my life to do I want to be healthy? You know, do I want to be around for my children, my grandchildren? These are, and it's all mental. So these are thoughts that you know, you'd have to go through in your head. Okay, so then what do I do next? Now, I'll say for me, I was an athlete. And then I joined the Shrine of the Black Madonna, and you know they have, you know, we had a chef there, somebody who cooked for us, and then I started the praying, meditating, praying, and fasting. Okay, that's been something that I've done for a while now, and then I just recently joined a prayer and fasting group online where we're just, you know, all from all walks of life, every denomination. And we've all just decided, okay, we are going to do what? What are you going to do? Okay, well, I'm going to eat once a day. And my once a day meal, I'm taking a look. So now I'm looking at food totally different than I did a week ago, a year ago. I'm looking at everything that I'm putting in my body. Just, you know, hear me out. You can go in the store now, say you want to get a bag of chips, right? You get a bag of chips. Now, I can make chips in my house. And let me tell you what ingredients I'm going to need. 2 potatoes and a little salt. Well, 3. And then, you know, they deep fry, or you can put the potatoes in a kettle. So maybe 3 ingredients, right? But if you go in the store and buy the same chips, you have over 100 ingredients just for chip. Right. And they're not good for you. I mean, everything you go in the store, if you go into the bakery and say you want to grab a box of the peanut butter cookies. I made peanut butter cookies before. I didn't use more than 5 ingredients, but there is 100 ingredients on the back of the cookie, anything that you buy. And so you have to be conscious now. Okay, now what am I putting in my body, and why am I putting that in my body? So what I did also, I eliminated sugar. Once I eliminated sugar, I lost 20 pounds in less than 30 days. Your body craves what it doesn't need. Your body is going to crave what it doesn't need. You get stressed out, your body may want to smoke. Your body may want to drink. You lose a loved one, your body may not want to eat or drink. You know what I mean? So your body craves it. And if you can take a second, if you can take 24 hours to just back up and like close your mouth, because if you close your mouth and stop your intake, okay, so now what your body is about to do is to eat the fat away. So that your body begins to immediately eat fat. And as it's eating fat, it's releasing the things in your brain that needs to release so you can function. Now you can put yourself on a different plane when you start to fast and pray. But you have to decide based on what your body needs. Some people in my prayer and fasting group, they may go 4 days and not eat, and then eat 3 days. I'm at the point today where I was doing 1 meal a day, but as of last week, I'm going 24 hours some days where I don't eat anything, just some water or some juice, watermelon flavored water or something like that. So it's a mental thing, and it's life or death, and you see it. You don't have to go far.
It is first and foremost a mental thing, because if you can because there's so many different pressures, peer pressures, television pressures, social media pressures. You drive by down the street, you see a Popeyes over here, a McDonald's over here, a Chipotle over here, and you got all of these different things, and you got to be conscious all the time on what you're doing. And as you mentioned, if there's an event that happens and you're not strong enough, it can throw you totally off, and you have to start back over. And you could just get frustrated and say, no, I don't. I'm tired of that. I don't want to do that no more. I want to talk about the different, we talked about it a little bit, but I want to go more in depth to it. What are some of the things, the different minerals, different vitamins, different fibers, different things that you put in your body, herbs, different things that you specifically look for in your diet? What things do you not want to eat? That I know carbs and potatoes and different things that has a high fattening rate. What are some of the things that you do not want to make sure you do not want to eat, and then things you want to eat more of? I know I came into understanding that I want to eat more greens, and I've done a much better job of that. Are you there, Sister Camille?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Can you share that?
So I haven't really dug too much into the specifics. Maybe Brother Vincent or Sani would have that, but I focus more on the herbs and focusing on things that I lack, definitely making sure like green leafy vegetables are a good source of that. Cutting down
what are we talking about when we talking about herbs? Are we talking about what are herbs we talking about?
There's so many herbs. So like I mostly use the elderberry and my sea moss, so that helps with blood sugar levels.
Now certain people hear the word herb and they herbs and they thinking about herb, the smoke that you smoke on. So we got to kind of be specific a little bit.
Yeah, just kind of like natural plants,
Okay.
So you have dried elderberries. I put that as an option for sea moss. Elderberry helps with blood sugar levels. It helps increase immunity. It also helps with diuretic. Some people are getting some water out of their system because they have too much. Burdock root helps remove toxins from the blood. Bladderwrack is a seaweed, so that helps with bloating, cramping, UTI, skin anxiety. You know, you do have certain oils and things that help. Like my things are more like health healing, you know, with ailments. So there's, I forget the correct way to pronounce it, but pretty much you can heal yourself and heal ailments of the body with putting oils and things in your belly button because there's so many nerve endings there. So that's a way. And then just diet wise, you know, going as plant-based as possible. You know, processed would be things that were in a factory, you know. Ms. Paula just talked about how she, you know, making stuff at home more because they add so much, especially in America. Like if you look at different countries, there's a lot of things that are banned that we use every day, and those things negatively affect your health as well as store fat in the body. So really taking the time to make your foods and really taking the time to, if you're gonna buy foods, making sure they're as simple as possible, because your body is made to produce natural things. Anything that's processed, you're overworking your body and you're adding chemicals that are storing up in other places, either making you sluggish, making you gain weight, or also creating issues down the line. Because, you know, side effects because of those, they got to go somewhere. So that's kind of what I mostly focus on. I haven't really gotten to, sea moss has a lot of minerals and things, but as far as like daily diet, I haven't really focused on those. And I have noticed one last thing is I took a class, AMP class one time, and you have to be careful with your vitamins, like multivitamins, because you think like, oh, I'm taking this vitamin, I'll be fine, like iron. He told us that iron tablets, and that's why if you pick up a bottle, there's some that say plant or vegan tablets, because they'll make iron tablets made out of crushed cars. So you processing iron from a plant source like green leafy vegetables is going to process different than actual metal, you know. And then calcium, I think you said calcium is made from grind up shells. You know, you wouldn't just pick up a metal piece and eat it. You wouldn't just pick up a shell and eat it. So you have to really think about these things and realize that the more things that are aqueous, like water based, or things that are come from the soil, your body's made to process that. I look at it as a car. You know, if you have a high performance car and it requires supreme gas, why would you be putting unleaded gas in there? You know, you're going to start to have issues down the line. I feel like it's the same thing with your body.
Yes, ma'am. It's very interesting that, as you said, our body is made to take in certain substances and things and will adjust to it. Just like certain substances, you eat too much fried chicken, you'll certainly run up your blood pressure and different things. It works that way. I want to throw this out there for everybody. What are the 3 go-to things that you got to have in your diet? Do you have to have vitamins every day? Do you have to eat greens? You shared some things, Vince. If you want to share that again, I want our audience to be able to pick up at least 3 things from everybody on what they take in their diet. Vince.
Yes, sir. Well, for me, I must have some green food in my life. I don't really go by what I shouldn't eat. I go by what I should eat. I stay away from fried food. I know for myself, not just high blood pressure, but cholesterol, you know, clogging up my arteries. So I love vegetables, veggies. I eat veggies every day. I'm more of a veggie, seafood type of man. Also, along with sea moss, I do my elderberry syrup. I also used to take Geritol. You know, people say that's for old folks. But what I discovered, if it will work for older people to keep them healthy, for me who was young and is young and think I'm somewhat healthy, how much more would it work for me? So when the Queen was talking about iron, you know, to me, Geritol is the best source. You know, people often talk about what it tastes like. It got to taste good. I don't care about what it tastes. Like everything I put in my body is for the healthy results because I say I'm taking in life now. So I must have my green vegetables and I must drink plenty of water. Water is a life source. I love water. I drink much water. And the other thing I do is exercise. That's to me, those three things are key and very vital. That's the fountain of youth for me. That is the thing that will keep me healthy, keep me strong, keep me mentally sound, and spiritually solid. So I'm about doing those things. It's not about feeling like my brother was saying about motivation. Well, motivation, inspiration, what got me started. But what keeps me going is the will to not just survive, but to live. See, I want to live, not just be existing, but I want to live. I want to be able to do those things with my grandkids, or what I want to enjoy the fullness of life with as little pain as possible. I don't want to talk about arthritis being in my life. I want to talk about, diabetes, high blood pressure. These majority of things can be avoided. If they can't be avoided, most definitely be controlled. And that's what I'm about. I want to be proactive instead of reactive because I'm just that important. Once again, I make no excuses for what I have to do for myself. As I said, when I get done with this, I'm going to go run for 2 hours. That's what I must do for me because it's my life source. So I have my greens. I got my water. Now I go get my exercise in. Even though I work 10 hours on the job in the warehouse, I'm walking all day long. That's not a workout. That's what I do for a financial gain. Now I go do what I need to do for deposit into my health account because I have to make a daily deposit into my health account so that if ever I need to make a withdrawal, it won't ever say insufficient funds in my health account. It say go ahead and make that withdrawal because you made some deposits, and that's what it's about.
Very powerful, brother. Every time I hear it, very powerful, great inspiration. I'm gonna try to get there. Husani, same question. Same question about the
So top three.
specifics of your diet and 3 things that you got to have.
Okay. For one, gardening helps. You need some greens, like like everyone was saying. You need that roughage, that green roughage. The more natural, the better, I say. So like right now it's wintertime, so what's growing? Collards, maybe even cabbage right now. 2 of which I don't grow. Mustard greens is a good one that'll grow right now, real good. Kale will grow real good right now. But this is what
What
I
about
personally
spinach?
grow. I've been eating off of amaranth for the past since what was it? Summer? Spring. Toward the end of spring, amaranth starts to grow naturally, right? But I've kind of broadcast the seeds all over the house, front yard, backyard. So now every season it grows by itself. It's all over the place, y'all. And it gives so many greens. So I've been eating on that for almost a year. The only time it doesn't grow is like right now. It starts to die. It's starting to die off. And in the winter time, in the winter time, they fall back. So that's one. The greens. That's very important. And then let's get
So you
more
make
toward
some
the
of your
herbs.
own greens?
Say again?
Do you make some, or do you plant some of your own greens, some of your
Oh
own
yeah.
vegetables?
Look. Almost 100% of the greens that I've been eating for the past few months, for the past 2 seasons, the all of this fall, the summer and the spring. Summer to spring, the end of the spring. I've been eating amaranth. It's a green. It provides a lot of greens. All right, and you cook it just like spinach. You cook it like kale. You can boil it. You can cook it down on the pan. Either way, yo, give me a break, please. That's one. The greens. All right. And of course, there's a lot of other vegetables and stuff to choose from. But y'all all know that we tend to slip. Like, I haven't been perfect. I've fasted. I've tried tons of herbs. I've tried so many herbs. I can name them all off. I can tell you how they taste. I can tell you all that. But when I'm not eating according to what I know, it's what? Burgers, it's meat even. I like bad cuts of meat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying I have my good days, I have bad days. You know what I'm saying? In
So
terms of like what I know
you'll
is
break
right
down
and
and
wrong.
get a Big Mac.
Yeah, and look, it's easy to know right and wrong according to how much mucus is coming out. So if you are congested, you're sniffing it, hey, you're eating something bad right now. It's not agreeing. All right. But another one is the detoxers, the herbs that make you go, that make you flush. Those are important. All right. Now, one good one, and it grows all over Houston, all over this city. Yellow dock. Yellow dock. It's like the brother sister of burdock. It's in the dock family, but yellow dock is it's alkaline and it is bitter. It's one of those bitter roots. It's the root that you want. But when I tell you, in my study, the first herb that I came across was yellow dock because I saw it. When I saw it on paper first, and then I was like, hey, I recognize that. And then I went out and dug it up. But look, the root, oh man.
So how did you learn about all of these different type of course, everybody knows about green, but you mentioned the one start with an A and then yellow dock. So how did you kind of, you just research?
Oh, hey, it took a while. It took a while. It didn't happen overnight. The first herb, the only herb that I really knew about was yellow dock because I went out, I dug it up. But then I found out, hey, I got clovers next to it. I have what's my one? The dandelion. The dandelion was right next to it. The thistle was growing right next to it.
I just thought that was a flower. Dandelion?
Dandelion, yeah, dandelion.
Okay.
So the flower does a thing. It has benefits for it. You could dry it, you could put it in your teas. But it's the root. You want that root that's real powerful. And look, they even sell dandelion greens in the stores. But I was out in Michigan a few years ago. They had bundles of dandelion greens. That's how beneficial they are. They're what we call superfoods. All right. Now look, yellow dock. I dug yellow dock up, processed the root, cleaned it off, boiled it down, and drank the tea. Oh wow, yo. It is a flusher. It will get rid of all the crap we're holding in our stomachs. I mean, I'm pretty lean. I'm like 173 right now. I'm like 5'8", but I have like 16-17% body fat. It's not really a lot, right? I'm under control, I feel. But yo, yellow dock will flush
yellow
what
dock,
I don't even know is there. It'll take it all out from you. Yellow dock is that cleanser that I think everybody needs because it works by itself. You don't.
They don't sell that in the store as a product.
As a matter of fact, they do. Go to the last time I saw it was at the International Fiesta. You know where they have that aisle of herbs that you can choose from. I saw yellow dock on the aisle. They sell it for like, what was it, like $9 an ounce or something like that, which is ridiculous. Which is crazy, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna check that out.
Because it's everywhere.
I'm gonna you mentioned another one with start with an A, green.
Amaranth.
Amaranth. Okay, I'm gonna check that one out too. I want to ask
really, I can help you point that out. There's a lot of them that grow just natively, just naturally, without help. They just grow all over the place. Amaranth is one of those.
And very healthy and very edible.
Yes. Yes. And look, the third one would have to be water, like the brother Vincent said. Water, water. Because with nothing else, you could do water and be all right. Like, you'll be all right. Sea moss and everything is a good extra.
I saw a report that said if you just cut out soda water and drink water, cut out the sugar, there's your weight loss right there. Just doing that. So I know that. Now, I'm just like a lot of people, they want to have some taste, but that goes back to that mental thing. You want to have that taste and you're used to the taste, but
I got
you can discipline yourself to that. And that is the
Yellow
whole
dot.
issue, getting to that mindset.
Yellow dot.
Yeah, if you
Yellow
get
dot.
to that mindset, that is the biggest issue.
No. Look, that's where you're mistaken.
I want to give everybody a chance to share their ritual.
Look, one thing, Brother Baruti.
What does that incorporate?
One thing, I want to throw this at you real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not really like the mindset. Look, we're poisoned. We're for real. We're poisoned in the mind. The herbs are like the secret tool. It's like a secret tool to use to cleanse out that poison. We're restricted. You can't just be like, wake up in the morning like, hey, I'm gonna do it. I'm on that mindset. No, you need to get some of that poison up out of you first. And then it's easier to make that. And you talked about some of us really want taste. Look, put that bitter root in your mouth. It will reset all your taste buds. You won't even know what sugar is. I'm for real. And it's not as easy, but I'm saying with the consistent consumption of it, that sugar will be out
And you'll get into the habit of it as long as you can get in that consistent phase. I want to ask this. I want to ask, what is your healthy living ritual that you try to follow? Exercise. I mean, what is the timing of it? Do you eat in the morning? I know Paula said at one time she was eating one meal a day. And then, Vince says he's about to go run after he finishes this interview. So what is your ritual? Paula, what do you do for healthy living?
Let me say also, I drink alkaline water. I always make sure I have alkaline water in the house. I'm kind of like my grandparents. When you walk in, there's a bowl of fruit on the table. So there's always fruit available. And leafy greens, as everyone else has said. And what's wonderful about anything, blacker the berry, sweeter the juice is really true, because the darker things you put in your body are going to do the greatest good for you. And the leafy green is so important because when you eat it, its only job is to go through your intestines and push out. You know what I mean? So
leafy greens, spinach, broccoli, what else?
Cabbage, anything green, kale, you know what I mean? That's its only job, to go in and push out. Now, my healthy lifestyle, I have a Jack Russell, so I've always walked twice a day with my dog. So I'm gonna get my walk in, my alkaline water in. And as far as taste and food, your food still should as Sani said, you can you could reset your taste buds, but if you don't, you're just gonna implement a salad into what you're already eating, or just implement something healthy on top of what you're already eating. That's it. And the taste will still be there, especially if you prepare it yourself, because now, do you even know what you're eating when you're going out? I know that's a wing when I see it because of the bones, but when there's no bone, do you know what you're really eating?
Yeah, it's always a question, but most of us don't delve deep into it. We don't look at the label of all the ingredients and everything. I know half the people probably don't, but we should, and we should develop a strategy. Sister Camille, what is your strategy on your routine on a daily basis?
Yeah, so I really focus on working out 3 to 4 times a week, ideally 4. And then I focus on, I usually go in, do 20, 30 minutes of cardio. I just kind of put it on an incline, 8. And I run for a minute, and then I walk. That kind of varies on how I'm feeling, right? So I don't want to overdo it sometimes. So to make myself not want to come back the next day, right?
Yeah.
I do that, and then I come in and I do weights. So I'll have like upper
Oh, you lift
body.
weights?
Yeah, I lift weights. I like a certain look, I like an athletic look. So I do I'll do like arms, and then I'll do like chest and back one day, and then I'll do legs, and I split those up between like squat and leg press, versus another day will be
Muscle woman, huh?
yeah. And then every day I finish it up with abs. So cardio, weights on different parts of the body, 4 different days for 4 different spots, kind of, and then abs, which will be like 1 to 2 exercises, like 3 to 2 sets per, and then I wrap it up. So that's probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours at the gym. But that's what I want, and I do believe in keeping the body in motion. What you don't use, you lose. So.
Yes, ma'am. You point out the timing and everything. I've always heard you can do what you set your mind to do. There is enough time in the day to at least do 30 minutes of exercise and to prepare your food, your diet. But we get so many things. I know, Vince, don't put a but in there. There's no excuses. I'm got to get there. I'm going to get there. I'm going to work on it. This is our 143rd episode of the Sourceseeker Hour. I am Baruti Carl Alexander, the Source Seeker, and I very much appreciate all the guests here. We are toward the end of our program, and I want to give everybody a statement to give to our audience on if they having difficulty following a healthy routine, what is some encouragement that each of us can give to them, as well as share your information that you would like people to have. If they want to talk to you personally about healthy living, how can they reach you? Vince.
Okay, my name is Vincent Gulley. Once again, I'm here in the Dallas, Texas area. You can find me on Facebook, Vincent L. Gulley. The same on Instagram as well, Vincent L. Gulley. As far as anyone getting started, as I said before, I encourage people to start out walking. Every other Sunday, there's a park I go to called Cedar Ridge Preserve. And 7 a.m., I lead a hike run session with first timers. It is more about walking than actually running. We will run the flats and we walk the inclines, and then we also walk when it's necessary to walk. Nobody get left behind. There's no pressure. But I tell anybody, you don't have to have any type of special equipment, just some good shoes, and just step outside and just walk in your neighborhood. You don't have to have a gym membership. You can start doing push-ups at home, whether you do them on your knees. You can do a full extended push-up. You can start doing sit-ups. You can't do sit-ups because of back issues. You can lay on your back and do leg flutters. There's just so many different things that you can do. You can sit in your chair and rock back and forth. Just tighten up your muscle, your core. You could do this back and forth in your chair, and before long, your core, your abs will get sore. So it's very important that we take our health to be important, because the last thing that anybody want to do is wait till a doctor to tell you, hey, you got to do this, or it's going to be too late. So, just say that you are just that important that you're willing to invest in your own self. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sister Camille, share with us a positive thing for our audience to hear if they're trying to work on this.
Yes, definitely. Again, like Brother Vince said, start slow. I always tell people, like, just 15 minutes of activity a day, is something. Because the thing is, you want to balance your input versus output. So if you've only been putting input just 15 minutes a day, it's increasing your output. And if you're consistent, the changes over time. And I feel like if you're consistent enough, you know, one day, say you've been doing 15 minutes for 2 weeks or a month, you know, you might be like, hey, you know, I can go 10 more minutes. You know, you kind of build up that way. And then increasing your water input or just like natural juices, you know, swapping out sugary things, soda for something healthier. For me, I know that, especially if I've gained, because I'm a stress eater, you know, one, getting rid of the stress in your life, figuring out those traumas, because it's like, if you know how to eat right, it's not the eating right and the plan, it's you getting those stresses out of your life. So I know that if I'm trying to switch, that if I get hungry, that's a problem, you know, because I'm gonna go for like the greasiest thing possible. So have snacks in my car, you know, so I have trail mix. I have this like dehydrated fruit bars in my car. So therefore, if I'm out, I have a healthy option to pick so that you can get those sugar cravings down. And that helps me, you know, because I feel like you have to have a game plan when you're out here in the streets because, you know, you'll see a Wendy's, you'll see a Whataburger, you know, making sure that if you are out, where places are safe for you. Chipotle is a good option. You know, Salada is a good option. If you're on the go and you don't have
So
anything.
Chipotle is okay. Why?
I mean,
Because of the vegetables and the rice and whatever meat you put in.
yeah, I mean,
Potato-
you gotta be careful because it's like if I go, I'm gonna get a little bit of brown rice and put some lettuce on there and some beans. I'm gonna stick to the vegetables and maybe like a chicken. Sometimes I don't get chicken. I just get the beans and then stay away from that sour cream. You know what I'm saying? Like get you a little salsa and keep it light, you know, because you can make anything unhealthy. It's not hard.
Yeah.
So you just really be
I do
mindful.
like Chipotle though.
Yeah, you know, because you could load up on that sour cream, those cheeses, all that meat, you know, like, do you really need that? Not really.
Okay.
So,
How,
you
how
know,
can people reach you, sis?
Houston Sea Moss Queen. That's SEAMOSS Queen, Houston Sea Moss Queen. That's Instagram and Facebook. And then 832-308-0027. And I take orders all the time. I keep product at 2 shops. One, Possessions Boutique, 4310 Almeda Road, Houston, open 7 days a week, 11 to 7. Just ask for Ty. There's CMOS there, jail. And
Yes,
then
I'm gonna have to
also,
come get a jar.
yeah, and then also Sunnyside, 5039 Reed Road, Suite 9. That's Fresh House Grocery. It's a Black-owned grocery. And then you can always contact me for CMOS, and I ship, deliver, all that.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, you're very welcome. And if you could put some of that information in the chat, and then we'll share it on the other sites also. Brother Husani, give us a positive word for our audience.
Eat your vegetables.
Eat your vegetables. Okay. Hey, it's difficult out there. It's difficult. We know it. We know it is, right? But hey, it's do or die, right? It's do or die. It really is. And I think if we remember that, it'll call us to action, you know. Now the how-to, again, get in that environment. Either create the environment around your immediate home, you know, to get active. Like I have workout equipment everywhere. I teach classes for the home schools, martial arts, fitness. So I'm always active. It's not too much downtime. We just
That
came
is
from the
such an
tennis courts.
important
I'm with
point
the kids
about-
now. We just came from the tennis courts. I don't play, but hey, I'm able to go out there and learn, swing, you know. I look flicky, but hey, still, I get to move, you know, and play, learn something new. But go into the environment. Another thing that might help, like there's a bayou where I live. Oh, can you get it? There's a bayou where I live. But going on the bayou is like probably one of the most beneficial things that I can do over going to the gym, over doing anything, because I usually see people that I know. It's such a beautiful like scenery. On good days, it's just fantastic. Going out either walking or running, it's just good for the body, the spirit. It's good for everything. So find those environments that can help you achieve what you're trying to achieve. Don't just, and if you're weak by yourself, find a partner. And if you can't find a one-on-one partner, find a group. Those are the 3 training modes that I was taught: by yourself, one-on-one, and with a group. So if you're weak on one,
I want to interject. You said build your environment. Build a conducive environment that mostly everything you see is contributing to what you're trying to accomplish.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Very important point. I'm gonna come back to you, Sani. Brother Vince.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask, you got all these people following you, running with you. I see you all the time. You always have a crowd with you. How did that develop? And what are you hoping, or what are you sharing with the people?
Well, how it developed and how it all started was that they saw me continually doing it. I stopped talking about it and I just did it. And I continue to do it. And my thing is to, I always tell people my age, and I tell them it is truly a mind thing. Also, it's a God thing. See, I am just that determined to not let anything stop me from living my best life and giving birth to my greatness. And that's what I encourage each and every one of us to give.
I see that coming out in everything you express, and I'm sure that's what the people are seeing too. I mean, it's genuine. I can feel it. Can't y'all feel it? I feel it. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. I just had to interject that.
No, you're fine. And as you well know, from the time we met, I've always talked about this, and this is my life. I would die running possibly, but it's okay. It's my place of peace. It's my place where I can work things out. It's my place when I get tired, I can go run and get revitalized, restoration. This is my time to spend time with God. And that's just why I want to reach as many people as possible and let them know that you can be healthy and it won't cost you what you think. It just costs you your time and a little sweat. And to be determined, a made-up mind will take you as far as you want to go.
Thank you, brother. Check him out on Facebook, on A Brighter Source, A Brighter Light. The brother is always giving inspiration for running and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Brother, appreciate you. Thank you very much. Brother Husani, I want you to be able to finish up there. You were sharing about the mindset. You were sharing about how people can do better if they want to do better.
Yeah. Again, just find that environment. If you can't find the environment, make the environment. And just know yourself. If you're weak on one thing, kind of lean on the other until you're a little stronger on doing it by yourself. Because that's the ultimate goal. You want to be strong in executing your task by yourself. That's the ultimate goal. And especially when it comes to health, you want to be able to know exactly what to do. Now, is that like an easy thing? I know we can sit here and kind of throw these things back and forth with each other, but it's a lot harder to execute. It's a lot harder to execute, but you have to be good at that solo, at your solo ventures, at your solo mission. So it's not the time to get sad and, you know what I'm saying, and give up. It's the time to kind of pick your head up and say, hey, I can do this. I can do this. And if you can't do that by yourself, you need to be around groups that can tell you, hey, you can do this, that can help motivate you, that can pick you up into where you can do it on your own. So just know those 3 things, and if you're weak on one, if you're not a social bee, you need to be good by yourself. You need to be, productive by yourself. All right.
The main thing is to keep trying to find a way, never give up, Keep
Don't
trying.
give up. That's right.
Keep trying all the time. We're right at the end. I want to give our last word to Sister Paula. Share a positive thing, just a good testimony for people who are out there struggling.
Listen, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it because I've done it. I'm an example of doing it. So here is the thing. I'm Paula Clark. You can follow me on Facebook, Paula Clark. I will, if you give me 30 days, I'm promising you, you're going to add 10 plus years to your life. Think
That's
of
a
you.
powerful statement. I might take you up on that.
Take me up on it. Think of yourself as an alcoholic and you need AA. And AA, like NA, you need sponsors when you feel like you're going to slip, because we all slip. So I'm here to be a sponsor. I'm here to encourage. I'm here to show you, because the Bible says, you know, God's going to give you 70 years. Anything over that is gravy. I can get you to 70. If you're already at 70, let me give you 10 more years on your life.
Sounds powerful.
You can.
Sister Paula Clark, guests, we are at the end of our program. We've been talking about healthy living, and as you know, this is one of our main subjects that we talk about. I do want to interject. It starts in the mind. All of this starts in the mind, and so you got to work on. I love what Sani said about building a healthy environment. So if you get weak passing by the McDonald's, go the other way. And I'm talking to myself. I have some times where I'm very good. I have some times when I'm very bad, and I want to do better and be more consistent. And that's why I want to always talk about this, Vince, Brother Sani, Sister Camille. I want to, it's a lot of self process in this for me, because I want to put pressure on myself to be able to do better. And I've had periods of time when I have done pretty good and have moved forward. I want to get back to that. I want to keep it in mind. And I want the audience to be able to hear it from people who are doing it. I want them to hear, you can do it too. We can find a way. We just got to keep trying, not give up, and keep trying to move forward and do the best we can. We're at the end of our episode. I thank you. And our next 2 episodes will be talking about education at a crossroads. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. I'm Baruti Carl Alexander. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Yo, see you. Thank you.